Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just come down to Bitcoin, big of the CoinsKid crew. So right now, it is my opinion that you have broken out of a wedge just here, okay? So we've got this tightening range, we're coming down, price compression lead to expansion, and we're coming down, we're calling up like this, and then we had that last retouch a couple of weeks ago on this trend line, which is a fantastic area to put some bids in, like I said to you, on this low, and boom, you've come back up, okay? So right now, it does look as though you are closing outside of this level of resistance, and you are looking like you're breaking out, and you're coming up to that white line, and then that orange line eventually, okay? So, you know, coupled with that, there is a massive indicator here in the charts that printed a few weeks ago. If we take a look at the daily time frame, there is some compression leading to expansion that's going to happen really, really soon, okay? I'm going to go through that with you in a moment, but I just want to show you this signal that flashed quite a long time ago. I did remind you of it at the time when it did flash. If we go to indicators and search for hash ribbons, okay, by Capriole_Charlie, I think it is, just click on it. And you can see just there, if we take a look at the daily time frame, you can see that we've got a hash ribbon buy signal, which is a very, very strong buy signal, okay? It's always led to a really big up rally. I'm going to go through the historical data with you in a moment, but you can see we actually printed that just there on, I think it was around about Friday the 19th of August, okay? So since then, we've actually come up, come down, and we're sort of trying to curl around here. You can kind of see this little rounded bottom that we're beginning to carve out here for Bitcoin. Let me show you. So you've got this potential Adam, and then you've got this sort of rounded bottom which is coming down right now. So potentially, if this is a level of support like this, okay, and we're starting to come up, you've got some kind of big ascending triangle here that's starting to carve out. You come up, you potentially get a resistance there, come back, and you know, do something like this. You're going to start to carve out a beautiful ascending triangle just there as well. So you've got this beautiful sort of rounded bottom that's starting to come up for Bitcoin, and it would be accompanied by that beautiful buy signal on the hash ribbon indicator that we've got right now for Bitcoin. But again, there's no guarantees, okay? If we start to come down and we lose these lows, this is, you know, paramount right now, you know, because it would indicate that we've got a massive impulsive move to the downside, and this, for the first time in history, has not actually led to a pump, basically. Now, has this signal just here ever printed and Bitcoin, you know, done something like this and gone down where it's not gone up from a signal? Historically, no, okay? So what's happened before, I've done some investigation on this particular signal. It has printed before, and we have had a drawdown and then broke out, okay? So it is a very, very powerful signal that was printed on the daily time frame, the hash ribbon indicator right there, a buy signal. Let's take a look at the historical data here. Now, if you remember last year, at the bottom of this A leg, which I think is potential A leg right now, as we started to break up, we printed this signal just here as well. You can see pretty much we printed it just there on the 7th of August last year, and then we got a lovely little rally after it, come back to it and broke out, okay? And that's where we put the local top in just there last year in November. So if we go back to this particular period here, which was around about the 3rd of December 2020, you can see we printed it, and at that point we retraced, held support, and then broke out, okay? So again, you know, we did print it and we traced before breaking out. Just there on this particular signal, I think was on Monday the 13th of July 2020, we sort of went sideways and then broke out. If we take a look at this particular signal, which was on, when was that? That was Friday the 24th of April. Pretty strong reaction off the buy signal, to be honest with you. No sort of retracement, pretty much printed it and then broke out. Again, just there, so we take a look at this one. This was pretty much it, printed it, had a small retracement, then broke out again. So if we take a look at this particular signal, which was the bottom of the 2017 to 2018 bear market, you take a look at this signal just here. This actually printed just here inside of this falling wedge, which is pretty much what we've just printed for Bitcoin right there. So you can see we got the print just there on Thursday, the 10th of January 2019, at which point we began to retrace really, really deeply towards the wedge, broke out, fell back to the neckline of support before continuing. So, you know, it wouldn't have felt like it at the time if you was buying on this hash ribbon indicator just there, because at the time you start to retrace and everyone would have been like, oh my God, it's you know, false signal. But eventually it did lead to a big impulsive move there, and it never lost the low from which the signal was created. So that's the most important thing going forward. We've not actually lost any lows from which the data for the hash ribbons has been printed right there. So that's why a few weeks ago I did remind you of that particular signal as and when it printed. It was in on Friday the 19th of August, sorry, just there. We got the print just there, and then you can see just there, if we take a look, you was inside of this wedge and you retraced all the way. Right now you're breaking out of the wedge, potentially falling back to it and looking for continuation. So, you know, I'm not saying it's 100% conclusive, that's it, you know, you got to buy there and, you know, go to the beach basically, but historically it's been a really good signal, and it's one of those accompanying signals of the Magnificent 8 that I've shown you, okay, since this low. And the most important thing going forward is we've not actually lost that low yet, although it feels like we're going to lose it and we're going to crash, and the economy and the macro and things like that, and Bitcoin's coming down. It is actually forming a beautiful bottom at the moment. Okay, we've gone 129 days into this bottom. If we measure this from here to the current day, I did post this on Twitter, you can see we're actually 129 days into this bottom. So it is beginning to carve out a structural bottom at the moment. And I wish I could tell you conclusively that we are going to hold these lows and we are going to break out and we are going to be leading into a fruitful 2023. But I can't. It's all about support and resistance. But we are doing everything in the charts that we need to confirm the bottom. But are we going to hold historical data? This is what I keep saying to you. If we don't, and we lose these lows here and we take out that low there, like I said to you, you're invalidating historical data in the charts. It's not bullshit. It's not hopium. It's not because he said, she said. It's data. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So right now, let's take a look at the charts on a 15-minute time frame and see if we can identify any trade setups. Okay, I will try and remember to zoom in on a 15-minute time frame and stop looking at macro. I will try and zoom in and give you trade setups as and when I can. I've been posting these on Twitter because I've just been on holiday. Just there. So we take a look at this particular time set here, the trading action there for Bitcoin on a 15-minute time frame. It looks as though this is some kind of consolidation pattern. So you've come up and right now you're coming back down and you're consolidating in a range holding this high. Do you see that? So basically this is the high from where you came. So you can look at this like this. So swing high, swing low. You find support where you go. So basically you've coiled up here, right? You broke out and you've fallen back to it as support. So if you lose this and turn this in resistance, obviously you're going to begin a bigger retracement to that low. But if not, if this coils up and breaks out, you're getting your breakout for Bitcoin right here. So what are we doing right now? So this is your high and this is your low. And all you're doing is retracing to this low, okay? Come down and retrace any deeper and lose that low, you've got an impulsive move to the downside. If you hold this low, from this low wherever it is that you came back up and broken that high, you've got an impulsive move to the upside. And this is really beginning to look impulsive to the upside, okay? And no longer corrective or bearish, basically. That's what I'm trying to say to you. And you are breaking out and confirming the falling wedge right there for Bitcoin. So what we have to do, we have to drop the fibs from the top to the bottom, and you can see where your key levels of support are. So at the moment you can see we've had a big correction down to the 0.5 fib just there at 19171. Now for me, Bitcoin loves the golden ratio. So if you're not already involved in Bitcoin, okay, and you're looking to enter Bitcoin, I would personally be looking to load up some longs on that level just there, because this could be a correction coming down like this, get a really strong level of support for Bitcoin at 19049, where you could get some bids in, and then boom, we get the breakout right there, and we'll confirm the breakout of this falling wedge for Bitcoin and confirming that hash ribbon signal. So if you're not already involved on Bitcoin and you're looking to trade Bitcoin, just kick back, relax, put some bids down there on the golden ratio at 10618 at 19049. Okay, you can do all this on Bybit and BitGet. You can go long, you can go short, whatever you want to do. But right now, that is a very strong level of support for me with your stop loss down there on the 702 fib at 18963. Now, it might be a last liquidity grab before a breakout, and this would be deemed as impulsive, corrective, impulsive. And if that is the case, at that time, if we do start to come up and we take out this high, for me, that's an extremely bullish statement right there for Bitcoin. And it's beginning to look like it's continuing with this breakout of this weekly falling wedge right there for Bitcoin. Okay, so I hope you understand that update. Put some bids on the golden ratio at 19049 with your stop loss on 18963, and you could be in for a lovely little trade going forward for Bitcoin. Okay, take care everyone, back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.